Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright, sit down, grab some popcorn, maybe even a cup of instant ramyun if you're feeling extra cozy, because today we're diving into a story that is equal parts dramatic and a little heartbreaking. It's about money, fame, and what happens when one single man is basically holding an entire company together. And yes, you guessed it, that man is Astro's Eunwoo. So let me set the stage. It's July 28th, 2025. The day was already emotional because Eunwoo officially enlisted in the military. Fans were crying, timelines were flooded with farewell edits, and people were already starting countdowns to his discharge like it was a Marvel movie release date. But apparently the fans weren't the only ones going through it. Nope. Turns out Fantagio, his management company, was also quietly panicking in the background. According to reports from Chosun Biz, Fantagio is staggering under financial strain, and honestly, the numbers make my head hurt just looking at them. Imagine this. The Seoul Regional Tax Office sent Fantagio a bill for about 8.2 billion won. That's roughly 5.9 million US dollars. And here's the kicker. That bill alone represents more than 14% of the company's equity capital. Like, that's not a paper cut. That's a full-on stab wound to their bank account. And it doesn't even stop there. In November, Fantagio is facing another problem. A 13 billion won bond repayment. That's about $9.3 million. Normally, in cases like this, investors might say, oh, don't worry, we'll just convert those bonds into shares. But guess what? Fantagio's stock price has dropped so much that nobody's touching it, meaning Fantagio has to pay it all back in cold hard cash, with a 7% interest rate on top. Yikes. Let's put this into perspective. As of March, Fantagio only had around 11 billion won in cash. But by October and November alone, they need 21 billion won. It's like having $100 in your pocket, but your bills add up to 200. You don't need to be an accountant to know that math is mathing in the worst way possible. Now here's where it gets kind of funny. Reports basically said that one single artist accounted for more than half of Fantagio's total sales. And yes, everyone knows that artist is Eunwoo. Like, let's not pretend. We know. Fantagio knows. The tax office probably knows too. So with him enlisting in the military, their golden goose, their cash cow, their walking talking ATM, just walked out the door for the next year and a half. Now look, this isn't even me exaggerating. Fantagio themselves admitted in their filings that they relied on a super limited pool of intellectual property. In other words, they basically put all their eggs in the Eunwoo basket. And listen, if you're gonna put your eggs somewhere, that basket is not a bad choice. But it's still risky, because now, he's gone, and the basket is empty. What about Astro as a whole, you ask? Well, Astro is one of those groups that has always been loved, but never really pushed as aggressively as other groups. They debuted in 2016 with a bright, bubbly concept, and fans immediately fell in love with their chemistry. But over the years, it really became clear that Eunwoo was the breakout star. Not because the others aren't talented, they absolutely are, but because Eunwoo is, well, he's Eunwoo. The man has face genius status, and when you have the kind of visuals that make cameras zoom in automatically, it's hard not to stand out. And Fantagio knew that, which is why they tried to launch a K-drama business as their post-Eunwoo growth strategy. Sounds smart on paper, right? But in reality, it flopped. They raised billions of won from shareholders to fund it. They even announced a 24-episode historical drama called Royal Physician Daejanggeum. But delays hit, the historical drama market slumped, and suddenly all that money they raised was just sitting there. Meanwhile, expenses kept piling up. At one point, Fantagio's spokesperson even admitted, "We raised capital for a K-drama production, but the market has slumped. We're waiting for conditions to improve." Which, if you translate that into plain English, basically means, we're broke and we don't know what to do right now. The result? Fantagio's revenue dropped by 42% compared to the previous year. They posted their third straight year of operating losses and their fourth straight year of net losses. That's like losing in Mario Kart 4 times in a row. You start to realize maybe you should just put down the controller. But here's the part that cracks me up. When asked about all this, Fantagio still insisted, "This is not a liquidity crisis." Sir, with all due respect, if it looks like a crisis, smells like a crisis, and your main star is literally scrubbing dishes in the military cafeteria instead of filming CFs for you, it's a crisis. But let's pause here for a second, because I don't want this video to just be doom and gloom. Let's talk about Cha himself for a bit, because honestly, his story is what makes all of this so fascinating. First of all, do you guys remember how Astro started? They were called the Puppy Idols when they debuted. Bright, fresh, full of energy. They had this cheerful image, and even though they weren't from one of the big three companies, they gained a loyal fandom. And Cha, even from the beginning, stood out. Not just because of his visuals, but because he worked so hard to show he wasn't just a pretty face. He improved as a singer, started taking acting roles, and slowly built his reputation as an all-rounder. By the time he starred in dramas like My ID is Gangnam Beauty and True Beauty, his fame had skyrocketed. Suddenly, your mom, your grandma, and even your non-K-pop watching neighbor knew his face. He was everywhere. Ads, variety shows, brand deals. He wasn't just an idol anymore. He was a household name. And that's why Fantagio leaned on him so heavily. He wasn't just making money for the group. He was making money for the entire company. To the point where, according to filings, his activities alone made up more than half of their revenue. That's insane. Imagine being so successful that your paycheck keeps the lights on for an entire building. But here's the part I find heartwarming. Even with all that pressure, Cha has always stayed humble. He's known for being polite, for taking care of his members, for showing up at fan signs and actually making fans feel special. And you just know that even in the military right now, he's probably the guy who volunteers to help out, even if it means washing extra dishes. Which, funny enough, is exactly what he's doing. Remember that story about him being on dishwashing duty and everyone lining up just to give him their plates? That's the kind of stuff that makes him so lovable. So yeah, Fantagio is probably shaking right now, but for us fans, it's also a reminder of just how powerful one person can be. Cha isn't just an idol or an actor. He's someone who's made people laugh, cry, and feel connected, whether through music, dramas, or even just a smile on stage. And that's why his enlistment feels like such a big deal, not just for fans, but apparently for Fantagio's accountants too. At the end of the day, I don't think Fantagio is going to vanish overnight. They'll probably figure something out. Companies always do. But this whole situation really highlights the importance of balance. You can't put all your hopes and dreams into one person, no matter how talented or beautiful they are. Because at some point, that person's going to need to take a break, live their own life, or in this case, serve their country. So what do you guys think? Is Fantagio really going broke without Cha? Or are they just going through a rough patch that they'll eventually recover from? And on a lighter note, what's your favorite Cha moment? Idol era, drama era, or maybe even his recent military updates? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop them down in the comments below. That's all for today's video, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and diving into this wild story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your fellow K-pop fans if you found it interesting. And hey, let's keep rooting for Astro, for Cha, and yes, maybe even for Fantagio too. They're gonna need it. See you in the next one.